Bears. What about the flip side, the Bills, who last night looked like the opposite of the Ravens? The preseason is not going well for them. Sean McDermott clearly was not pleased with his team's performance.
Certainly not up to our standard, what we expect. Got a lot of work to do. That's very clear. It doesn't matter who's out there, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, whoever it is, we expect them to perform, and we expect our level of performance to be much better than that. Playing against their 1s, we expect to compete with them, and that wasn't the case early. And then our 2s then who were out there competing against their 2s, and our 3s against their 3s, it didn't get much better.
I'm not worried, Colin. Are you?
I'm not worried. I almoalmost consider the Ravens an exception, a really good organization that cares and delivers in the preseason. 38-0 is really bad. What is your reason why they were so disorganized?
Well, let's take the Andy Reid crew. There's Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, and Sean McDermott. But, those two guys learned under Andy. I think Andy's training camps are really physical, kind of old school, a throwback. Look at the Chiefs the other night against Seattle. Looked terrible. They've been practicing really hard, heavy legs. I think Sean McDermott, if you're watching Hard Knocks, they're getting after it in practice. That was a big game for the Bears last night. They approached that, they game planned for that thing. Sean McDermott did not. For whatever reason, maybe it's a Harbaugh thing, but specifically John, he approaches preseason games like they are a playoff game. He is an outlier. So heavy legs, Josh Allen on the sideline. The Bills and are different from the Chiefs because the Chiefs, make the Super Bowl every year.
Right.
It's all about January. So how do you peak November, December, and into January? I'm watching Hard Knocks. Usually on Hard Knocks, it's a bad team, so it's an awful product. This is the first time where you're like, oh, that's what a great quarterback looks like in practice. It's fun to watch. So, I put zero stock into that. That was all about the Bears, road game. I think if you look at the Chiefs and you look at the Bills, both long road trips, and just laid an egg. Now, if you're a backup, you better be careful. You can't, you don't want to get used to laying eggs when you don't play very often in the regular season. But when Josh Allen's on the sideline doing interviews in the first quarter, I don't put much stock into the game.
Yeah, no, that's a really well said take by John Middlecoff. Brings such a different energy on the herd compared to when he's on his own podcast. He's a lot more buttoned up. A lot more PG as well. So it's always fun. It's always fun to see people wear different hats in different moments, or take off his hat, so to speak. I think there's a lot of truth to that when you go real hard in practice, and that's really what you're preparing for, that you're going to be a lot more spent, and you're not all too concerned with trying to peak and get everyone right come time Sunday like you normally do for the regular season, in terms of how you manage your practice and manage getting the peak performance out of players. Even little things like the amount of weight you're going to lift and the amount of reps you'll do it to, like even just from a strict strength and conditioning standpoint, how you're going to peak and how you're going to build up to make sure that you're at your strongest and at your freshest on game time. And there's going to be all different ways to do that during the off season or preseason, and different priorities. So I'm not worried about a 38-0 at all, because it's preseason. I've been very confident, very firm in the whole preseason, but I still like to see a team feel organized, whether it's a 2s or 3s. And that's really what Sean McDermott was saying anyway, where he was just kind of like, I expect it to be better. Even if it's a 2s versus 1s, and the 2s versus the 2s, and the 3s versus 3s, like you do expect things to look a lot more organized and feel like it's even if you're not, even if one team is managing their, let's just be real generic, their fatigue more in terms of trying to lead up to a preseason game relative to a team like the Bills that might be taking a more opposite effect. I haven't been watching Hard Knocks, and I don't know how much, since I haven't been watching this season. I don't know what type of feel you have for how hard these this off season has been going for them. Makes me want to kind of catch up now and see, and especially watching Josh Allen, what John Middlecoff was saying, of like, oh, this is what a great quarterback looks like in practice. I definitely would like to check that out. And so definitely let me know in the comment section if it's been enjoyable to watch. I just don't want to hear like all these. Is there like segments where it's just like Josh is like walking around with Haley and they're just like sitting in a kitchen like telling each other jokes and laughing? Like I don't care about that. So I'm like a little like what's this season gonna be like? But anyway, yeah, it's I still think at the end of the day though. I know we throw around things like 2s and 3s and 4s and 5s, 6, 7, 8, 9s, like whatever. And don't get me wrong, the preseason, these games, they are flushed with players who are not going to be playing. Like if you listen to actual NFL players, they talk about the preseason just not even close. A bunch of them really talked about this more in depth last year, and they were just like, it's just not even close. They were like, I think the one example that someone used, they were just like, the difference between college and preseason and a preseason game is night and day. And it's like a same gap between preseason and regular season when you're actually, full throttle, ones versus ones, let's go. It all counts right now. But at the same time, make no mistake about it, a lot of 2s get some playing time, right? Like this is football. Everyone's getting banged up, even when you're not banged up. Like players are in and out of the lineup throughout a game, more often than not. So you just want to see everyone on the same page, and it didn't necessarily feel that the Bills were 100% on the same page, or that there was effort there, or they cared as much. Which again, it's interesting because I do agree. But with a team like the Bills, like let's take the Bills and the Bengals. Like the Bengals are all in on getting into football shape right now. Let's go. Let's start off hot. Let's do it. And like John Middlecoff was saying, like for the Bills, it's all about being great, elite, and healthy and special in January, ideally February. So it's just you're just bringing different energy. I don't even know at this point like what type of intentionality a Sean McDermott brings to the preseason right now. Like and I'm sure it's also going to, even if they kind of discuss this a little bit on Hard Knocks, like it's in front of cameras and stuff. So you always have to take that with a grain of salt. It's always got to be filtered through some lens, knowing that people are watching you and stuff like that. Everyone always just juices it up a little bit more. But I'd love to be able to get like a real conversation with McDermott and just be like, what are you actually doing to get everyone prepared for preseason right now? How much does it matter? Do you find a practice, do you find it more valuable for you to work real hard in practice and do exactly what you want to do rather than have to prepare for a game and really try to avoid injury at all costs and not even play with Josh Allen, et cetera, et cetera? Like what's actually more important to you? And we got more of a glimpse of that, ironically, with the Bears with Ben Johnson, when he was just like, I had my quarterback in practice take 70 snaps. We went hard in practice. He's not playing in preseason. That's what I'm focused on. And this was like last week's going into, into the last week preseason. And like, that makes a lot of sense, right? So I think it all depends on what how the coach feels. And I think when you've also been a long-term coach with this team, you have so much more runway to be able to do that. Whereas I was harder on, say, like the Detroit Lions before, especially after that first, their Hall of Fame game or whatever, because it was like, you got new coordinators. I want to see like some organization. I want to feel like everyone's on the same page. And you didn't get that sense. I would be absolutely stunned and shocked and blown away if the Buffalo Bills start off this season and everyone doesn't understand like what's at stake here, what they're trying to achieve, the organization, the discipline. Like that's just not who the Buffalo Bills have been. They've obviously haven't been perfect, but at the same time, like you can't say that they're not ready to compete, ready to get up. They can lay an egg like any team can, just like every team does. But I'm never like, are they ready for the moment? Even in the playoffs, even if they come up short, and I can criticize Sean McDermott, it's just like I'm not looking at it where I'm just like, man, this is lackluster effort. This is a loss of focus. I question the game plan more than I question like, are they ready? Whereas the Baltimore Ravens, I'm like, do you even understand that you have a football game today? Do you understand this is the AFC Championship game? Like, what are you doing? And how did the coaching staff not tell you that Kelsey's going to try to cause problems and this, that, and you're getting taunting penalties? It's like, what are you doing? Like, there's just a different level of preparation in that regard. So yeah, 38-0. Whether it's preseason or not is hardly ideal, but doesn't really matter either. Just something to talk about, honestly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills and their blowout preseason loss? I know it's a big deal. And do let me know how Hard Knocks is, if it's worth me to check out. But let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.